Hey everyone, so in today's video we're going to talk about how to improve your KDA in PUBG Mobile. So the first thing is, what is KDA? KDA is a ratio representing your kills per game compared to your deaths. So if you kill 5 people per game and you die that game, then your KDA will be 5, right? So if you don't die that game and you guys got chicken dinner and you got 5 kills that game, your KDA will be 10. Because the first game you died and the second game you got chicken dinner. So in total you died once, but in 2 games you got 10 kills, which means your KDA is 10. Most of the time when you want to determine how good a player is, you will look at their rank, then you look at their KDA. So if they're an ace tier and they have like 2 KDA, that's not very good compared to like a guy in crown was a 4 KDA, because it's much higher. Right? The guy in ace, he may just, he doesn't want to kill people, he's always running away in gunfights. And he's not as good as a guy who is in crown with 4 KDA. So KDA actually represents a lot. And rank can be carried, but KDA cannot be carried that much. It's harder to carry KDA than be carrying your rank. If someone's good on your team, you can easily carry your rank higher because just stay behind the person and go do all the killing. While KDA, you have to actually kill people. So KDA is very important in this game, and I'm gonna show you guys how to improve it, and I'm gonna tell you my story today. So I started playing this game back in S2, and in S2 my KDA was only 1.33. So I was just learning the game, learning the basic controls, learning, what the zone is, what kind of guns I like, just exploring the game. In S3, I started playing with one of my friends who was really good. He was in crown at that time, so that was really good back in S3. And, he carried me a little bit, and, I learned a lot from him, and my KDA went to 2.38, and I managed to get to crown in S3. And in S4, I started playing by myself, I started exploring, I started playing a lot, and my KDA went to 2.83. And then S5, S6 was my biggest change. This is when I mastered Claw, and then in S5 I managed a 4.3, and in S6 I got to Conquer, which is 6.31. S7 I maintained a 6.5 in over 300 games in squad. And right now in S8, I'm trying to go for a 7.5 KDA, and I'm going to try to keep increasing that every single season. So I'm going to get to how to improve your KDA in a second. If you are a thumb player, I suggest you to use gyroscope, or try to use claw, or try to use PUBG triggers. You have to at least have something else more than thumb to control it, because it's super hard to become pro with only 2 thumbs, right? You have to control recoil, you have to scope in, you have to move all at the same time, you may have to jump or prone or whatever, and 2 thumbs is not enough. So I'll say use claw, use gyroscope, or use PUBG Mobile triggers to increase your skills. So the next tip I will also say is use headphones and understand how footstep works. Okay, when you understand how footstep works, you can easily know where the opponent is without even looking at your mini map, or even you don't have to visually see it, you just hear it. And when you have good headphones and you know how footstep works, you could hear how far is the person. Is he in a building? Is he proning on the grass? Is he, crawling somewhere? Is he snaking? What corner is he in the house? You can easily hear it. And if you're not really good at it, you can also, look at your mini map, and then you can also see. So when you combine all 3 of those, you know where people are, okay? And this is where most PUBG players are not good at. They don't know where the people are, okay? They don't play with headphones. That's a big problem. Any pro will tell you that headphones is critical, and I could tell you that if you don't have headphones, you have no clue where the enemy's coming from, and it's a big disadvantage on your side. Another one I would like to say is recoil. A lot of PUBG players cannot control recoil. They cannot control AKM recoil. They cannot control Groza recoil. They cannot control like, any high scopes, like, 4x, 6x, and it gives them big disadvantage, especially in like far range fights where you're spraying the person and you can't control the recoil, and then he spray back at you and you lose the fight because your shots weren't landing on the person. So you have to make sure you have good recoil. So some ways to control recoil includes gyroscope, changing the sensitivity, using claw. So this way you can manage, you can control it properly. So if you guys think you guys have good recoil, go to the training room, right, and then go to any like target like 100 meters away, spray with whatever scope it is. If you could land the first 20 shots, that's pretty good, right? And then if you guys add like your favorite grip and stuff, you guys should be able to spray like the whole mag on the target. It doesn't have to be the head, but it just has to be on the person. But you have to understand that in a real fight, the person will move, they'll prone, they'll find cover, they might shoot back at you. So you have to understand, if you see someone running in the field or something, and then you decide to shoot him but you don't kill him, there's a good chance that he'll find cover and then he'll retaliate, and then you might die or get knocked out because you couldn't kill him with your high time scope because you couldn't control the recoil. So you must learn how to control recoil properly. I can make a video on that. That's a separate video and it's very big. There's a lot to it. It's very complicated. But let's move on to the next point. So the next point is winning chicken dinner. So if you win chicken dinner, that means your KDA get added onto your kills and not your deaths. So your KDA will improve by a lot if you win chicken dinner, right? Because essentially, say your KDA is 10 right now and you play one game, and then second game you got chicken dinner, which means you did not die. So that's 10 kills the first game and 10 kills the second game, which makes 20 kills in total, but you die once, which means your KDA is at 20. And this is how pro players and leaderboards people, they maintain such high KD. If you look at their win rates, they're sitting above 50%. Some maybe even at 60, 70, 80, 85. I've seen it all. So if you're really high up there, you could easily maintain a high KD if you win a lot and you don't die. So moving to the next point is pushing when the season starts. So when the season starts, there's a lot of bots in your game, which means play aggressive and maintain a high KD. Win your first 5 chicken dinners and your KD will be sitting really high, and then later obviously it will drop and it'll be easy to maintain a high KD.
Let's go.
So every time my season starts, I play really bad. This season I started with 2 kills, 2 KDA, because I died with 2 kills on my first game. And slowly I climbed back to 6. I'm now aiming for 7. But my point is, if you play good in the beginning, you can easily step up your KDA a lot. But the problem is you have to play aggressive and you have to have a good team. And another thing I would like to say is a lot of players suck at close combat. They suck, right? So one good way to increase your skills in it is to play TDM. TDM, no looting, very close, lots of hardcore fights. You'll have lots of fun. This is why I love TDM. You don't have to loot around, don't have to worry about rank, just kill, just shoot. This is a shooting game, not a looting game, right? And a lot of players, they don't want to lose rank, they don't want to lose rating, so they play super safe, maybe getting 1 gun fights in 30 minutes, and that's not fun. That's not fun. Right? So that's why TDM is so great. That's why Call of Duty is so popular, because they don't have the looting thing. You can get whatever gun you want, whatever attachments you want, whatever perks you want in Call of Duty. Whereas PUBG, you have to search for everything, you loot everything. You're fighting for loot, fight for airdrop. So TDM is basically Call of Duty, which is great to practice your skills. which is the whole point, and it's really fun. It's better than war. You don't have to jump, spawn with all your guns, all nice guns. You got the Uzi, you got M4, you got the AK, whatever you like. And if you like sniping, use the Car 98, almost one shot every time. So if you guys need to practice close combat, go into TDM, play like 1 or 2 hours. A lot of YouTubers is they go to the training room, practice scoping and stuff. Man, that's fake. I'm telling you guys, because in a real battle, they'll find cover, they'll retaliate, they shoot back, man. And this is the best way to improve, because it's realistic. They're real players, and they'll move, they'll like hide, they'll shoot back at you. That's great. That's what you need. You don't need like training room, the thing moves back and forth, the target. That's not real. Like in a real fight, the guy will not move like that. They'll run, they'll duck, they'll hide, they might shoot back. So TDM is the best way to improve those combat skills, and you should definitely play it if you're not really good at it. So one more way to improve your KDA is play maps that is not Erangel. Because the thing with Erangel is it's the first map you play, right? The first map you're allowed to play is Erangel. Everything else is locked. Okay, which also means that's the first map you are good at, pretty much, because you'll be playing that for like the first 50 games, and then maybe later explore other maps. And that's the thing, a lot of people love Erangel. They don't love Sandhawk. They don't love the Kindy, which is why you could get more kills in those maps, because you're less likely to run into a pro player that know how to play it. Because essentially those maps are very different from Erangel, like the terrain, the houses, how the zone shrinks, the loot wise as well is all very different vehicles, different game medics, and it's just very different. So if you understand Erangel, doesn't mean you understand Sandhawk. Right, Sandhawk is a much faster pace. It's only 20 minutes for a full game, while the desert map is almost 40 minutes a game. Right, it's just different. Whereas Erangel, you could take 2 ARs, but if you play like the desert map, like 2 ARs, it wouldn't do you any good, because it's so big. The map is super big, and
great. You're about to win.
This is why a lot of pro players only play the desert map, because they know they won't run into any pro players. And if they do, they're pro themselves, so it's supposed to be a fair matchup. So even if they run into pro players, that is normal, because you're pro as well. But if you're not as good, and you're trying to improve your KD, one way is to play other maps other than Erangel to get better, and you won't run into pro players. And that's it for today. Thank you guys.